When humans and animals begin to interact, be prepared for drama or adventure. Enormous, intimidating, aggressive, dangerous, curious, or persistent. That's what it means to engage with animals. In some of these scenarios, you wouldn't believe them if they weren't captured on camera. How will these incredible moments of contact between beings from different worlds unfold? We've got a collection of captivating episodes about the encounters between characters from the animal kingdom and intelligent humans. Shall we watch? Enjoy watching, and of course, let's go. Boasting is always a bad idea, and unraveling a python coiled around your neck is even worse. Residents of a village in West Bengal, India, reported a massive python in their field and called forest rangers to capture the powerful snake and return it to the wild. The rangers had the situation under control, and everything was going well until a senior officer decided to take a selfie with the snake around his neck. This turned out to be a very bad idea. The python seemed to have been waiting for this moment. It instantly tightened its body around the man's neck, and soon, the bravado turned into a rescue mission to save the officer's life. Thankfully, other rangers quickly came to the officer's aid and managed to loosen the powerful grip of the python. This is a lesson for everyone. Forget about taking selfies with snakes forever. This gorilla made headlines worldwide. On August 31st, 1986, an 11-year-old boy named Merritt was vacationing with his family in Jersey when he accidentally fell into the gorilla enclosure during a visit to Durrell Wildlife Park. Everyone watched in horror as the gorillas gathered around the child, unsure of his fate. Approaching the child was a giant alpha male gorilla known as Jumbo, and people froze in fear. Jumbo came very close to the boy and touched him. The child was lying face down and unresponsive. For reasons unknown, Jumbo not only left the area on his own, but also led away all the other giant apes, allowing rescuers to quickly retrieve the child. Jumbo won the hearts of the entire world and positively transformed the image of gorillas as a whole. For some reason, this panda needed a young man's jacket. The bear approached him closely and took the liked item through the enclosure fence. We wouldn't claim this is an attack, but fortunately, the animal contented itself with the jacket, and the person remained safe. The incident occurred in a Chinese zoo in 2011, and the young man was posing for a photo in front of the panda's enclosure. The panda, without much hesitation, sneaked up from behind and clung to the jacket. People helped the poor guy get out of the bear's grasp and the jacket, and the bear started playing with its trophy. The motive for the attack is unclear, whether it was cold in the zoo or pandas sometimes like to play in a bear-like manner. Of all the elevators, this one is the most unusual. A boy was feeding a giraffe in the zoo and held the food so tightly that the animal almost lifted him up like an elevator into its enclosure. All of this happened in the presence of parents, and if not for them, we don't know what the giraffe could have done with the child. Typical zoo moments, extremely funny or incredibly dramatic incidents constantly occur there. Once, a person decided to ride on a rhinoceros on its territory, and even jumped on its back, not realizing how dangerous it could be. Here's another incredible moment in the zoo. Animals are very naive and inexperienced when it comes to human technology. Many have had to learn the hard way how an electric fence works, and it really hurts. This clip was filmed by a tourist observing a chimpanzee family in the zoo. Suddenly, the chimpanzee baby found itself at the edge of the enclosure and decided to explore a wire, which immediately responded with a healthy dose of electric shock. The entire family quickly grabbed the baby to protect and comfort it. The little one immediately felt better, but definitely learned a heavy lesson: never to touch that wire again. A great way to get rich. Go to India in search of a royal cobra with a special black pearl inside its head. We're waiting to see who will become the first millionaire. If this were true, someone would definitely strike it rich. However, for now, it's just a viral video aimed at curiosity and greed. If you think cobras can produce black pearls called Nagmani inside their heads, valued in the millions of dollars, we'll tell you, don't look for them and don't cut them open. Snake charmers intentionally inserted a pearl into the snake to dramatically pull it out on camera. Snakes are not mollusks. They produce venom, and it's certainly not worth trying to extract it. Orcas are fierce top predators, some of the absolute favorites on the planet, and watching them in captivity is a heart-wrenching spectacle. Here we see an orca banging its head against the enclosure of its tank because it feels lonely in the small space of its prison. In fact, this was nothing other than a strike. The clip instantly went viral and caused immense outrage among animal protection organizations. Zoo staff claimed that the orca was just panicking, but footage captured by an anonymous visitor to Loro Parque in Tenerife, Spain, convinces that this was a deliberate protest. A whale named Morgan, who was planning to commit suicide, was isolated in a medical pool away from other orcas. But in 2019, another orca began banging its head against a glass wall. Activists chanted that the cruelty must stop, and indeed, watching this is beyond words. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. This guy was fishing when he saw a stranded shark desperately trying to get back into the ocean. After several unsuccessful attempts to push the beached shark back into the water, he made an unexpected and swift decision. Holding the shark by its snout, he lifted it up and, as it flipped and twisted, carried it to a deeper area, gently releasing it into a wave. Agree, not the most familiar and pleasant burden, but saving a life is worth the effort. Here we see a deer, a normal spotted deer, running away from the operator. Let it run. But wait, what's in the bushes? It turns out it's a deer with a broken neck, and it's walking and even running. How is this possible? Don't rush to faint. This deer didn't just receive an injury. The same deer, or maybe another one with a similarly twisted neck, was captured on camera again in 2019 in St. Maries, Idaho, USA. And the person claimed that the deer with the shockingly bent neck had been wandering around for about 4 years, but that didn't stop it from eating, living, and continuing to have offspring. These guys must have experienced astonishment, fear, or shock as they were playfully splashing in the water. The children were simply swimming in a river somewhere in a distant African village, when suddenly, a carcass emerged nearby with its mouth wide open. Thankfully, no one was harmed, but who knows how many hippos could be lurking beneath the murky water. What if it purposely swam close and waited for the right moment to scare the kids? Personally, I'd definitely stutter for a while after such an encounter. Sea lions frequently make headlines, but we humans often get involved in their lives with ill intentions. In this case, a man provoked the animal's anger out of his own foolishness. Even when a dog is chewing a bone, it's dangerous to approach it. And here, a man went after the sea lion's catch. The sea lion was peacefully enjoying its fish when the man decided to tease it. I wonder what reaction he expected. The enraged animal immediately lunged at the fisherman and attempted to attack. What else was left for it to do? The fisherman managed to jump aside, but there were other people nearby for whom the scene could have been unsafe. What's the point of taunting an animal over its food, especially when it's not even a sea lion but a genuine lion? How would you like a sea elephant on the city streets? Then we'd all better return to our caves. The streets are becoming unsafe if oceanic elephants are wandering around them at night. This clip was filmed in Chile, where a sea elephant was spotted taking a stroll in the vicinity, bewildering the locals. What was it doing in a populated area? It's not every day you see a massive seal shuffling along the asphalt. In one instance, residents used large tarps to guide the confused animal back into the ocean. Sea elephants are quite rare, and the chances of encountering them on the street are very slim. There are many videos showing people helping dolphins return to the ocean, but this is the most vivid story of interaction and mutual understanding between a human and a dolphin. A part of a fishing gear hook got embedded in the fin of an Aphilina dolphin, and it swam straight to a diver for help. It circled closely around the diver, seeking attention. When the diver approached and removed the troubling object using pliers, the dolphin exhaled with relief and disappeared into the depths. Imagine going canoeing and suddenly realizing that it's the wrong place for a water ride. This person had a moment he'll surely call the worst fear of his life. Stuck on a sandbank, he realized that the canoe was resting on the back of a huge alligator. Remarkably, the man didn't panic. Keeping his calm, he refrained from disturbing the water. Thanks to the canoe's transparent bottom, the camera clearly captured the moment when the alligator emerged from the murky water and bumped into the canoe. Fortunately, the alligator returned to the water and the man decided to leave the dangerous spot. But it seems he went from the frying pan into the fire. The boat was soon surrounded by a bunch of alligators. We don't know by what miracle this guy managed to paddle away from them and avoid trouble. This footage requires your super attention. If you blink, you might miss the most crucial part. While fishing on a kayak in a Louisiana lake with his little daughter, this person had no idea what he was going to encounter there. At the moment, he decided to pull out what he thought was a catfish caught on the hook. A huge crocodile jaw emerged from the water. Jaws and snout, which the crocodile had already hoisted onto the edge of the kayak. Naturally, the man had never paddled so fast in his life. Fortunately, he didn't lose his cool as they paddled to safety. These videos are not compiled to scare you. Some of them might genuinely astonish you. This captivating moment was captured a few years ago when people on a boat full of tourists observing whales witnessed an incredible spectacle. A humpback whale got very close to the ship, and one of the tourists had their camera ready for the experience. And there it was, a moment of joy. The humpback whale gave them a huge surprise by leaping very close to the boat, shooting out of the water to its full body length, showering the boat with a cloud of splashes. The spectators were in awe, and people on other boats captured various angles of this magnificent show, and nobody was harmed in the process. The remarkable encounter will stay with these tourists forever. Wild dramas also unfold in aquariums. In this video, nothing terrible happened. A manta ray and a hammerhead shark simply collided and parted ways with apologies. But the next incident is not as innocent. A hammerhead shark attacks and devours a marine skate, swimming a long trajectory while holding it in its jaws until the bitten piece is finally swallowed. What else can you expect from a shark? If an aquarium is a miniature copy of the wild nature, where prey also swims around a predator, it's no surprise. But how do you justify this incident to visitors with children? Humans might consider themselves the most intelligent beings, but octopuses have also demonstrated their intelligence in various ways. This was proven a few years ago when a Russian diver explored the Sea of Japan. He noticed a giant octopus and decided to take some close-up photos. Suddenly, the giant approached the diver closely and entwined him with its powerful tentacles and suckers. Incredibly, it tried to snatch his breathing apparatus and even attempted to bite with its sharp beak. The diver managed to break free and fend off the octopus, after which the aggressor retreated. We have another epic scene from the wild. People in Australia couldn't explain this sight. They saw a python that initially appeared dead, with several frogs perched on its back. But the python suddenly started moving across the wet field, and the frogs were riding on its back as if on a ride. A strange carousel, isn't it? 10 frogs decided to relocate atop an 11-foot python. Researchers were intrigued by this unusual behavior of tree frogs. It could be explained by an impending flood, from which the frogs wanted to escape in this manner. In simpler terms, they were just waiting for their train. This is precisely what's called bullfighting. This clip could have been filmed only in one place on the planet, in Spain, where there's a strange tradition of releasing raging bulls into the streets of towns. In July 2016, an enraged bull charged through the streets of the city of Guadalajara until it finally stopped and attacked the first car it encountered. The sight was horrifying for both observers and those inside the car. They literally had no way out. Fortunately, no one was injured except the car, but hopefully they had insurance. The bull repeatedly butted the car's front with its head 4 or 5 times before moving away. But oh my, what incredible force. The bull's horn cut through the tire and punctured the radiator, but those are just rubber and metal. It's frightening to imagine what could have happened if the bull had attacked something living. This guy thought that since he was on a skateboard, why not tease a small dog? But the scenario didn't play out as expected. The little dog turned out to be a watchdog, and a small prank turned into a wild chase. It's funny, but the guy managed to maintain his balance and even captured the angry dog chasing after him on video. However, when he returned to the same spot the next day, the pursuit repeated. It seems the dog had activated a vendetta program against him. An incredible moment. A domestic animal meets a marine predator. When a group of fishermen stood on the pier, a dog attempted to catch a shark from the shore and even dared to jump into the water. How, one might wonder, did it plan to act in the water? The dog barked and growled furiously until they finally pulled the shark onto the shore. It was hooked, but it held onto its teeth and delivered a powerful smack to the dog's snout with its tail. Officials in this park had an idea. Let's buy a very expensive exotic fish and showcase it in the aquarium for visitors as a tourist attraction. And let's put a shark in there too, for the tourists. For the shark, whether it's an exotic fish or a regular herring, it's just food, and it will eat it until it's full. This would be a great biology lesson for third graders on a field trip. During fishing off the coast of Florida, people witnessed a grouper devouring a 4-foot shark. An incredible moment caught on camera as a sea bass left the entire fishing crew with nothing. This black-nosed shark was their only catch of the day. The captain was about to enjoy the catch when this sea poacher appeared out of nowhere. Well, no, these Atlantic Goliaths, groupers, always hide under the boat to steal others' catches. Here's one of them leaping out of the water and catching the shark in its jaws, cutting the line, and disappeared to the depths, now with its prey. Magic! Can you imagine a scenario where one large great white shark attacks another? This diver could have been torn to pieces in such an encounter. But luckily, he remained unharmed thanks to the sturdy cage he was in. This terrifying incident happened a few years ago when the diver decided to come face to face with a great white shark by descending into an underwater cage a few feet below the surface. The shark emerged from the blue depths and began to explore the cage, biting it from underneath. But before it could explore all the angles, another great white shark appeared in the frame and attacked the first one. I wonder what the diver went through. You probably think that a shark is the most ferocious predator and that no one would dare to attack it. Well, think again. This giant, Pacific octopus, was caught in the act while attacking a spiny dogfish shark in the waters off Seattle. The shark was swimming along minding its own business, but right beneath it on the seabed, the predator was lurking. Octopuses usually don't attack sharks, but for some reason, this one decided to lunge from the bottom and start wrapping its 8 arms around the shark. It squeezed its body tighter and tighter until the shark was immobilized. Ultimately, the shark was strangled in a matter of seconds, marking one of the strangest killings ever recorded in the ocean. Off the coast of South Africa, a group of thrill-seekers set out to explore Mossel Bay on an inflatable motorboat. Suddenly, the crew noticed a large great white shark that surfaced right next to their boat. The crew was excited, trying to figure out what the intentions of the large predator were, but it didn't hold back. It took a bite of the boat. It simply sunk its teeth into the rubber. Whether it was attracted by the scent or the presence of people on the boat remains uncertain. The boat was doomed, and until it sank, the crew had to slowly swim back to the shore. It's astonishing how a curious fish can sink an entire expedition. Fishermen call these small sharks hammerheads due to their immense strength. Here we see a fisherman trying to hoist his catch onto the boat single-handedly, and he almost succeeds. But then, a moment of tipping, and the game continues half on the opponent's side of the field. It must have been a thrill to somersault into shark-infested waters. The guy quickly got out of the water and didn't lose his composure. This stunning incident was captured in the waters around Fiji. Adventurous divers decided to explore the underwater world and swim surrounded by a school of exotic fish. One of the divers decided to surface higher. In that exact moment, a huge tiger shark with its mouth wide open appeared above him. It emerged from the unknown to give the diver the shock of his life. He was incredibly lucky. Within seconds, he managed to dodge, duck, and push the shark upwards, and with the help of the others, they shooed the shark away using their spears. Looking at this picture, it seems like a fake. The depicted animal here is a bull shark which is attacking a group of tourists. And it's not fake. In reality, these packs of these huge sharks have been seen in the Mississippi and Amazon rivers, and they do inhabit those waters. And the idea of them attacking is also true. There's other documentary evidence that they frequently attack canoes, boats, and other animals. So friends, those were incredible moments with animals that were captured on camera. If you enjoyed it and want to see something similar, write it in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and check out our previous videos that appeared on your screen.